Asian horror films have transcended beyond Asian borders and influenced the horror genre on a global level. You can't talk about the best horror films in general without mentioning some of the heavy hitters in Asian cinema. Japan has taken the lead in producing iconic horror films. The Ring, or Ringu, is considered the most popular Asian horror film and is definitely a contender of the best horror film of all time. It's closely followed by another Japanese horror, Ju-on, The Grudge, and both of these films have been a worldwide hit. They've inspired Hollywood to make their own versions, although the majority reaction is that it's subpar to the originals, but they have definitely popularized the whole scary long black-haired girl trope, aka an onryo, that's prevalent in Asian horrors today. Not sure if The Ring was the first to do it though, but it definitely was one of the trendsetters for it. Korea has been following suit in creating their own staple of horror films in the last 15 years. Train to Busan is one of the most notable films, creating a thriller within the zombie movie genre, and A Tale of Two Sisters, a well-received psychological horror that showed you don't always need to have creepy ghost girls to get a scare. Side note, one of my favourite horrors of all time is called The Wailing, which is a Korean horror. You guys have to watch this film, it's amazing, it's just scary, it has a great story, and it's also a little bit funny, so if you guys can find it on Shudder or Netflix maybe, definitely check it out. Asian horror are no longer considered a niche or a subculture for horror fans. You can see on Netflix, for example, the number of Asian horror content being produced and released outside of Asia has tenfolded within the last couple of years. And while Korea and Japan are currently the go-to countries for some spooky movies, there is another country living in the shadows that I believe is underrated. Enter Thailand. Thai horror, in my opinion, is greatly underappreciated within the horror community. Although streaming platforms such as Netflix and Shudder offer many Thai horror series and films, they're not spoken about as much as their Korean or Japanese counterparts. They're a bit more independent or niche. I love horror movies. Western, Eastern, I'm always on the lookout and I want to watch them all. I love the feeling of a story that can make me feel so thrilled and frightened at the same time. And I believe Thai horror films does that and so much more. It's so different to the Japanese or Korean horror films or any horror films from any country, and they do a great job of incorporating their culture and create great storylines for their horror films. So in this video, I'll talk about a handful of Thai horror films that I think you should watch this Halloween, this autumn, and why you should give Thai horror films more of a chance, whether you're a casual horror fan or a horror junkie like me. I'll start off with The Whole Truth, a Thai horror film that came out on Netflix in 2021. The Whole Truth is a fun horror film for casual fans, as it's not too scary, yet thrilling and chilling enough to get you hooked. The story is about two siblings, Pim and Put. Pim is a relatively popular girl at school, but not with a few mean girl vibes going on in her school life. Put, on the other hand, is crippled and doesn't have many friends. In fact, his only so-called friend is a bully who pretends to hang out with him so he can get close to Pim. They live with only their mother, May, who works at some international company. May gets a promotion, but then gets into a car accident and goes into a coma. So Pim and Put are sent to live with their grandparents, May's parents. The kicker is, they never met their grandparents until now. Like, ever. And so, the mystery and horror begins. First, you're wondering who these people are. Are they even their actual grandparents? Are we getting Shyamalan right now? But things go up an ante when a hole in the wall appears. No one can see the hole apart from Pim and Put. So grandparents are not having it and beat them. Okay, they don't beat them, but they're pretty pissed off about it. But both Pim and Put look through the hole and see dark, dark things. And things just get crazier and crazier. The granddad is pretty unhinged, the grandmother was seeing things, there was a ghost girl in the hole who was carrying a baby, the police were corrupt, and even when it came to the dad, it was just madness. What I love about The Whole Truth is that almost everything had a meaning, from the projectile black vomit coming from the ghost girl, to even a car crash that May was in. Everything had a reason. I mean, some of it was a bit ridiculous, but the film had so many good twists. I mean, when he got to Pit and Pim's dad, I don't feel my heart could take it anymore with the amount of twists it was coming with. The Whole Truth is a whirlwind of a film. Compared to some of the other films we're about to go into, it's not the scariest, In fact, some of his scares may seem a bit odd in the sense of art direction they went with, but the creepiness is there and enough to make you uncomfortable but still keep watching. Mockumentary-styled handheld camera horror is a staple in the genre, no matter what country it's from. You have, of course, the legendary Paranormal Activity from the US, Noroi from Japan, which is probably one of my favourite horrors of all time, and recently, Incantation from Taiwan. The Medium, or Rangsong, is Thailand's offering to the mockumentary scene, and boy, what an offering! By the way, earlier in this essay, I mentioned one of my favourite Korean horror films called The Wailing. The director of that film worked on this film, The Medium, so trust me, this is a fantastic horror film that had both me and Alice on the edge of our seats. It's a mockumentary that shows a shaman called Nim, who states that she is possessed by a god called Bayan. Bayan is a good nature spirit, according to Nim, whose aim is to help the residents of the Thai village she belongs to. Nim goes to visit her sister Noi and her brother Manit, who both live quite close together. This is quite common in many Asian countries where siblings live literally next door, or even in the same building as each other with their own individual families. Nim visited for the funeral of Noi's husband, who self-killed himself because he couldn't bear anymore the death of his and Noi's son Mac, who died in a motorbike accident. Oh yeah, this film went straight to it with the sad and dark plot lines, which is quite common in Thai films. They're not shy on touching upon topics such as death or self-killing, and basically grief in general, especially in horror, where it can be used as a setup for all the ghouly stuff. Noi is only left now with her daughter Mink, and Nim stays with her siblings for a few days. Fun fact, well, not really that fun, kind of creepy, Noi was supposed to be the medium for Bayan, but she rejected it by converting to Christianity, and so Bayan went to Nim instead. Or so they think. The film focuses on Mink because the girl starts tripping. She starts talking to herself, beating up little kids, banging some random dudes. Yeah, this may be normal for chavs in Dudley in the UK, but not in Thailand. Nah, Mink is possessed, and not the good possession that Nim has got. She has gone full screamo lead singer mode, and it's up to Nim and her siblings to figure out how to save her. The Medium is a great introduction of true Thai culture. The different religions that intersect and the impact they have within Thai culture is something I'd imagine most non-Thai people aren't familiar with. Also, their way of living, I'd imagine, would be an eye-opener. Most people associate Thai culture with the busy roads, loud markets, and the party night scenes, but that's only in a few major cities. The Medium shows the rural life of Thailand, which is itself quite fascinating, and also what adds to the uniqueness of the film. It would be something neither Japanese or Korean films could even replicate due to the difference in culture, and it certainly helps set the tone of the film. It's not continuous jump scare either. The Medium does a great job of keeping you engaged with a fantastic acting and a healthy amount of drip feeding the horror to keep you watching yet feel unease throughout. Until the end, where things get batshit crazy and Alice had to hide behind a plush called Kirby and I was just shouting whoa, whoa, whoa throughout. There is one thing that annoyed us, and it's a spoiler, so skip to here if you don't want to hear it. We weren't really sure how Mink got possessed. Like, usually in these kind of films of possession, you would kind of find out there'd be some sort of history of why she got possessed. We suspect it's because her mum rejected Bayan, but then Bayan is a good spirit, so there's a lot of things we just weren't sure. I think they just said, yeah, she's possessed because her family is involved in spirits and stuff like that. But it wasn't a big deal, and it doesn't ruin the film at all. It's just something that we're already used to in possession films, that someone has a reason of being possessed. Nevertheless, The Medium is on Shudder. Not a sponsor, by the way. Although holla Shudder, I wouldn't mind. And so if you're a horror fan, or just want to enjoy a good movie, you need to check out The Medium this autumn. Or Halloween. Halloween's gone. But alas, I can talk about the amazing crazy plot lines in The Whole Truth, or the sense of unease and uncomfortability of The Medium. But many fans of horror would know that Shutter is the pinnacle of Thai cinema on a whole. Now, everything must be taken into context to appreciate the impact Shutter has had. The film came out in 2004. The world wasn't so used to Asian cinema, let alone Asian horror cinema. The Ring and The Grudge were the most commonly known, but that was fueled by the American remakes. The fact that Shutter, a film from Thailand whose film industry was, and still is a bit today, completely unknown beyond its borders, happened to make the impact it has in the horror genre is nothing short of incredible. The film spawned 4 remakes around the world, including one from Hollywood. That's how good it was. No famous actors, no huge budget, just a really well told ghost story that had me and my roommates at university curling on the sofa, covering our faces with our hoodies. So, what is it about? Well, it follows Tun, a young man living his profession as a photographer with his girlfriend Jane. Tun and Jane get involved in a drive-by. No, not that kind of drive-by. Jane ran over a woman, and Tun told her that they should bounce. Was the lady who got run over dead? Of course! So, while working in his darkroom, Tun started noticing ghostly images of a woman in all his photos. Now this wasn't some IG model trying to improve their clout. This was a horrifying figure that made both Tun and Jane afraid. Very afraid that the woman they ran over and left for dead on the road has come back to haunt them. You find out that the dead woman has a connection to Tun, and Tun and Jane do everything they can, try and appease and ease the spirit to stop haunting them and let her go to the spirit world. But in doing that, we find out dark secrets of both Tun and Jane and the entity that's haunting them. The film touches on so many things: mysterious neck pain, revenge, self-killing. I'm telling you, the Thais are not shy to play with this theme. And also, quite interestingly, an insightful look into Thai male culture. The social commentary of Thai males is quite integral to the plotline of Shutter. I imagine it was a reflection of how some men treat women in some circles in Thai culture, how peer pressure can play such a strong part to be accepted or outcasted, and in the case of Shutter, how it can take a dark turn. Minus the supernatural ghost chick, because everyone knows those aren't real, right? Right? Anyways, nevertheless, the film is a masterpiece in Asian cinema and within the horror genre. If you are to watch any Thai horror, there is no better gateway than Shutter. The scares may be dated compared to modern day horrors, especially if you're a horror fan, but the story's twists and turns are enough to make you engrossed and appreciate why it is a cult favourite. I'll reiterate, of all the films that I mentioned in this essay, Shutter is the best film to expose yourself on how great Thai horrors can be. There are many horror films from Thailand that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Honestly, to me, it really feels like horror is a very much appreciated and mainstream genre in Thai culture. Some of the biggest and most awaited releases in Thai cinema are horror films, and the Thai film industry continuously give what the people want. For me, what makes Thai horror so unique and why I constantly recommend them for all my horror junkies is the incorporation of Thai culture in their films. In the films I have mentioned in this video, as well as many others, the Thai culture is a significant driver for their plots. Whether it's old ghost stories that are reimagined, turning local high school gossip into cinema, or using their deep-rooted religions as a catalyst to make us scream. It's these nuances that make Thai horror films so attractive to me. It's much more gritty and down to earth, and doesn't hide away from who they are. Rather, they embrace the identity of being a developing nation with an identity of religion and traditions, and use it to create chilling horror movies. It's so different from Japanese and Korean horror films, which have now steered away from using their respective cultures to drive their stories, and keeps it more focused on their characters, which have been great and makes them also special in their own way. But the Thai horrors use their societal values, tradition, and collectivist culture to create their own special stories. And they're not the only Southeast Asian country that's giving the East Asian countries a run for their money. I highly recommend getting into Indonesian horror films, as they're definitely on the up. But the Thai industry has definitely got more experience and success in the horror genre, and hopefully continue their upwards trend of horror hits. I hope this autumn you all pick some of the films that are mentioned in this video essay and enjoy their settings that are so foreign in culture, yet so familiar in terror. Unless you're from Thailand, then these films aren't unique in culture because you live it every day. Well, minus the ghost of course. Oh, By the way, did I just set up another video essay? Indonesian horror films? Oh yeah, I need to watch some more though. Alice, get ready for some Indonesian horror marathons.
I will bring the popcorn.
Thank you guys so much for watching our video.
If you liked our video, make sure to give it a like. And if you like what we do, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell.
See you guys in the next one.
Bye!